about
Do you know that I read yesterday that the college admission is way down over the last 4 or 5 years? Before COVID, it started going down, and now because of COVID, it's even worse.
What are teenagers doing?
Well, they're getting right into the workforce, and a lot of them are like trying to do this online something, content
become an
creator, influencer, all that, and
they're out there.
Yeah,
and there are people making money right now doing crazy stuff.
And a lot of people say that college. This was the article I read. New York Times said college is so expensive. Many are like, it's not worth it. I can do something else. I can be one of these content creators and not worry about it.
I've just heard. I haven't heard the content creator part, but I have heard people saying, yeah, my kids aren't going because it is so expensive. You know, they come out $150,000 in debt. They're going to be paying off.
Exactly.
You know, for the next 25 years, or they can go in the workforce, or even I'm a big pro person of community college. Yeah. You know, go to community college, go learn a skill, come out.
Electrician, trucker. Whatever you want.
Sure. Yeah, seriously. But you're not
plumber, mechanic, all of these
gun
things.
Repair, art, gun repair, refrigeration.
Bam, bam, bam. Exactly. All of it. And you can learn it quickly and start a good career.
Well, and it used to be, you know, I was preached at, you know, college. You're not going to have a good job. You're not going to have a good life if you don't go to college. And then I had friends who everyone went to college. And then it was, you know, I was making more money than most of my friends did when we were in our early 20s by going into the workforce, and they're coming out of college because they were competing for lower end jobs. At
and
first,
remember,
you know,
Biggie's not just a proponent of the community college. He went there for about a week and a half.
He was there. That's right.
Went on and off, you know. But I would not be as, if I had kids and they said I want to try community college in the workforce, I would not have a problem with that.
Well, you know, it's possible it is for my son. We just don't know. But the article was saying because way fewer will go to college, and numbers were way down. Just even before
schools will admit more or look to admit more.
Well, what they were saying is we won't be as smart,
selective.
We won't. They're saying that. In 20 years, these folks...
Fewer college-educated Americans.
We will have way fewer college-educated Americans, so we won't be able as competitive on the global scale because our education will end earlier than it would have otherwise.
Well, maybe college is too early sometimes, too. I mean, if you come out of high school and you're targeted and you say, I know I want to be a doctor, I know I want to be a lawyer, I know I want to be a meteorologist, then you go straight in, you know what you want to do, you head that way. But for me... Well, Kelly, you kind of knew. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
A lot of people college. Most people don't.
I found out my junior year because I had to find something that I wanted to major in.
That was a thing going around Instagram yesterday. What did you plan to do, and what are you doing?
What are you doing? Right.
You know, how vast is the difference?
I mean, at this point in my life, I was going to be calling the Olympics for NBC.
Yeah.
I mean, I said that many times. Chris, you're talking about going to college. The article I read said college admittance is way down over the past few years. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, trade schools, no one really said that was an option when I was in high school. It was either you go to a university or you go work at McDonald's. There wasn't like any in between.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've got friends now with master's degrees who are, you know, $100,000 in debt, and I'm making more than them with a one-year trade school degree.
It's something. I mean, it's really something.
We'll always need someone to do that.
Exactly. And more people are leaving that in that type of work than are going into it. It's a great time to get into that.
Yep.
Trucking, electrician, plumber,
gun repair, art.
Yes, exactly. My wife yesterday said, "Well, we're gonna go send." He just told me yesterday he wants to go to my son. He said, "I want to go to Ole Miss and get turned." You ain't going to. I'm not sending you to Ole Miss to get turned.
Exactly.
That's a lie. And then he's like, I said, maybe East Carolina. He's I come out of there with a liver problem. Pound this rock.
Where did he learn that?
You learned saying something like that to me as a rising senior?
Did you pound it?
No, I almost did. A lot of times he does that. He'll like pound this rock, and I'll just
reflexively.
Yeah, and I'll have to draw it back.
Wait a minute.
You know, I'm not doing that. Kendra, you're commenting about college and enrollment going down. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was telling Biggie, the college in America is overpriced and for profit. Like, there is no reason that kids should go to college and come out with all this debt, but that's what's banged into us, right?
Yes.
Do good on your SAT so you can get into your dream school. You know, do good in college so you get your dream job, and then you spend 25 years paying all this money. Like I told him, a good friend of mine, I think I've talked to you guys about him before, He went to Auburn for his undergrad and then decided to go to Europe. He went to the University of Switzerland to do his master's.
Mm-hmm.
He paid $1,500 a semester and graduated with absolutely no debt.
Unbelievable. See, she's right. It's so for profit. The price is ridiculous. I mean, it is so crazy. That's exactly right. Thank you, Kendra. I saw on the news a couple of years ago, a lot of people are going to Canada to get degrees, because it's so much cheaper.
Yep.
Montreal. It's Toronto. you know the cities.
I know the cities up there. Vancouver,
Canada, Vancouver.
Saskatoon.
Medicine Hat.
Yes.
Dead Horse.
Thunderbag.
These are just some examples.
I've seen a map.
Yes.
Guelph.
Crystal.
I never know how to say that one.
Bam. Crystal, you're talking about college education. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just hearing y'all talk about going to community college. You can go to community college. I went and got my nursing degree. I'm now travel nursing and will make $150,000 this year.
Yeah.
And I'm not even making like the high contracts because I'm not traveling as far.
Look at that. Look at that. And good for you.
What kind of job does that mean? I've never heard of a travel nurse.
So I live in Winston-Salem, but right now I'm working in Chapel Hill, and I just drive back and forth to work. Companies hire contract workers.
And you're going to make $150,000 this year. That's fantastic.
But there are some nurses, these travel nurses, if I'm not mistaken, that I think it's a company or group and they place you. So you might be in, if you live in Atlanta, they may place you in Boston for 3 or 4 months, pay for your Airbnb or whatever they put you in. And I mean, there's a lot of nurses I've met.
Yeah.
And I met some.
I know you have.
Yeah.
They are travel nurses, and thank God they're only here for about 3 or 4 months.
They come
and
in,
then they
move on.
But they're travel nurses, and they make a ton of money. Am I right?
Crystal, surely you've met Dave.
Won't be long.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, they do 13-week contracts, and you can just log on to the website, and it lists the city and, like, what specialty, and you can pick from all of them. And, I mean, there'll be 1,000 jobs on there. During the peak of COVID, they were paying in New York and Texas $10,000 a week.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
And they pay for your board, right?
They pay for
So, right. Yep.
That's incredible.
But if you're young, if you're a 25-year-old single nurse and you want to go live in Portland or L.A. or New Orleans for 2 or 3 months, great thing to do.
Thank you very much. You single woman on the go, you can do it. Go ahead.
You and Dave are way too into that. I mean, if you're watching the cameras, Chris Demm and I are sitting here looking normal and just listening intently, and you two are over there like, travel, single woman.
Be a travel nurse.
Are you telling me they're roving bands of hot nurses all over the country?
All over, just going around.
Crisscrossing the country?
God bless America. Let's do it this way. Instead of college, you don't need it. Kenny, you're talking about college. I just read that enrollment is going way down. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I went to trade school for 2 years and been doing heat and air for right about 22 years. And even with that little bit of schooling that I did and having absolutely no college debt, I paid like $2,000 a semester, including books. And now I'm, well into 6 figures and have been like that for multiple years and make more than most people who come out of a 4-year school.
I'll tell you, it may be the way to go. And my son, who has some limited knowledge, I think it might be the best thing for him, And my wife is saying, she's suggesting this. Like, let's just do.
Does he still want to major in keeping it real?
Yes. He wants to go to Thug U and major in keeping it real.
He could teach those classes.
Yeah, he'd be a TA. Over at Thug U, what I'm talking about. A great football team. Oh, yeah.
Well, nobody wants to play him.
They'll be really good this year. Oh, no.
You gonna play those thugs?
Half the wins are forfeits.
Over at Thug University? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he'd be really
And
good.
don't sell it short. My kid's there now. It is the military, and as soon as he's getting out, and he's talked about it, he's like, I'm going back to college. He's like, and it's free.
Exactly.
He's not paying for 1 cent.
I tried to tell my son that the other day when the Marines called. I told you the Marines called.
You did.
Yep.
The Marines called and said, "Do you have a son who's ready for the military?" And I said, "No."
No,
I said,
I do
"You got
not.
the wrong
First part, yes.
I said, "You got the
I have a
wrong
son.
number, man."
I do have a son.
I said, "He's too soft for the military." That guy goes, "We'll harden him up." So, well, I don't know. This might be a special case. This may be the first one they ever go, "Oh no, we can't do that." And I told him, I know a guy who's probably 45 years old. He's done. He's retired. Does whatever he wants. It's a great career. I mean, I wish
my kid's doing. He's going to do
that's
that.
a
And
great
he's going to
idea.
work at one of these Hondas or Boom or one of these other airplane companies.
Yeah, see the world, serve your country.
Yeah. He's been 2 places.
Still. He's young yet.
Port of Call, Bayonne, New Jersey.
You know?
Port of Call. I've been on more boats than he
See
has.
the world.
The
See
2
the
years
world.
he's been in there.
Kate, another comment on college. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my parents never went to college. They kind of advocated for us to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
My sister did. And I went to community college for a few years up at, I lived in Boone, but went to community college there. Decided that's not what I wanted to do. Was going to go for occupational therapy at App, but I don't know where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Decided that I was going to go to hair school. So I did, and I'm making 6 figures now, and I work with a bunch of ladies who make 6 figures,
Dang.
and so it's the best decision I ever made.
You darn right.
Doing
on
hair?
On hair? You must be darn good at hair.
Heck yeah!
Beautiful hair.
Wow. God.
Single travel.